Hello, welcome back to Lacedaemon's Corner. It's episode 11. It's been a while since I live streamed, and we got a lot of shit to talk about today. A lot of shit's gone down ever since the since the primary that Mamdani won. Talked about it quite a bit already in Lacedaemon's Talk, which is a new series I got where I whenever I go on like a long car ride, I'll record my thoughts for like about 20 minutes or so, and then post it later on afterwards. That's essentially the whole gist of Lacedaemon's Talk. I'll go on a long car ride or something like long where I'm by myself for a bit and talk about something for about 20 minutes. It's just on my mind, essentially. Anyway, so we got a lot of stuff to talk about right now. One of the first things I want to talk about is the VShojo situation. So, if you follow VTubers, I follow VTubers not as much as other people do, but I follow VTubers quite a bit. So if you follow VTubers, you probably know what VShojo is, or at this point was. So VShojo was, at one point, essentially the third big VTuber company behind Hololive and Niji Sanji. And VShojo was an American company. So their whole shtick was that VShojo did not own your IP. They didn't own your identity as a VTuber, which meant that independent VTubers or VTubers from other companies could join them. Because they could join them and keep their old identity if they weren't part of a company that didn't allow that, obviously. So VShojo was pretty popular. For example, one of their biggest talents was Iron Mouse, and you should probably know what Iron Mouse is by this point. But if you don't, Iron Mouse is a Puerto Rican VTuber. She's been around since 2017, and she's very popular. At one point, she was the most subscribed channel on Twitch, as a matter of fact. It's bounced between her and I believe Kai Cenat for a bit since then, but she's still up there. She's probably the most subscribed to VTuber, I believe, on Twitch still. So one of the things with Iron Mouse is that she has an immune disorder that kind of heavily affects her health, obviously, and so she was trained once to be an opera singer, but unfortunately her condition prevented her from doing that. In fact, she actually has spent most of her time inside because she can't go outside because of her condition, especially after all the COVID-19 shit. But anyway, so she's very passionate about supporting funds involving immunodeficiency disorders and immune disorders in general. So she's done fundraisers for a group called the IDF. No, not the Israeli military. I know what you're thinking. It's the Immune Deficiency Foundation, Immune Deficiency Fund. Not that IDF, not the other IDF, which we're going to be talking about later. So she's raised funds for the Immune Deficiency Foundation or fund. I can't remember which one it is, but anyway. So she raised about $500,000, $500,000 to go to that. The problem was VShojo didn't pay that $500,000. They spent it on other shit because they were hemorrhaging money and they badly mismanaged their funds. So Iron Mouse quit VShojo about a little under a week ago. And ever since then, all of its other talents have all quit and they all went independent, essentially. Some other VTubers involved in VShojo include Matara Khan and Amelie. Matara Khan was previously with Niji Sanji. What was her identity with Niji Sanji? She had a different identity with Niji Sanji. So Matara Khan was formerly Nina Kosaka with Niji Sanji, but then she left and she went independent, and then she joined VShojo as Matara Khan. And then there's Amelie, who's been involved in she started out as a singer on YouTube, and then she became a VTuber and a voice actor, and she joined VShojo earlier this year. And all of them left. Every single VTuber in VShojo left after Iron Mouse made her announcement. And it got worse because more allegations came out. Oh, and Keisan. Keisan was there, formerly, Kiryu Koko of Hololive. But more stuff came out. VShojo was not paying their talents on time or at all, apparently. And so yeah, a lot of shit's gone down. Gunrun, who is the CEO of VShojo, announced the company's closure about a couple days ago. Put out an announcement that's basically just a fake apology bullshit, and he's still facing a shit ton of backlash, as he should. And yeah, lots of stuff's come out. Apparently, VShojo also had issues with an employee of the company who was a creep and doxed all their talents, which is just wonderful. That is just wonderful. Oh my god. So yeah, as for my thoughts on this, obviously, fuck VShojo, fuck Gunrun. I feel fucking terrible for all the clients. I mean, there's not really much else to say. It's already been said about this case, but just fuck VShojo, dude. Fuck Gunrun, and the shit that went down is fucking criminal. And there's a good chance that Gunrun might get arrested for this. And I hope he does get fucking arrested for this shit. People need to go to jail. People need to go to jail for what happened. And like, look, I have some problems with Niji Sanji. I don't like Niji Sanji. I mean, their talents are mostly alright, but like their corporate is so messed up. We all know the Doki Bird situation, you know, the Silantoski Doki Bird situation, all that bullshit. Plus, you know, the fact that Matara Khan started out as Nina Kosaka with Niji Sanji and then left for similar reasons. But, you know, everyone thought Niji Sanji was the worst VTuber company. And then VShojo comes along and like, hey, check this out. Check this out. And proceeds to be the worst of the worst. So bad that they had to fucking shut down. So yeah, that's the Niji Sanji stuff. A lot of people outside the VTuber sphere are becoming aware of it. I mean, I saw an article on fucking Bloomberg that's talking about it. And, I'll see if I can pull up some memes I found. Shoujo Enron. Yeah, someone made a parody of Enron with, by making the VShojo logo. By photoshopping the VShojo logo to look like the Enron logo. Let me see if I can find it, because it's fucking hilarious. See, people are essentially photoshopping VShojo's logo to look like the logos of companies that shut down because they committed fraud. It's fucking hilarious. If I can find it, I will put it up on the PC shot. Oh my god. Oh my god. This is bad. This is really fucking bad. Oh my god. Oh, found it. Let's put the PC shot on real quick. Oh shit, hang on. Okay, there we go. Okay, so as you can see here, if you know what Enron is, first of all, you're old or you're in a business class, and second of all, you'll think this is really funny. So Mr. Yura made this, and then hold on, and then someone made this, which is a reference to another company called WorldCom, which also shut down because of fraud. Oh man, someone wants to make him into a shirt. Oh my god, someone made a US West parody. Oh my god. This really is the Enron. This is the Enron moment of VTubing, really. This really is. Oh, by the way, here's Gunrun's statement, by the way. I'll click on it so you guys can read it. Whole bunch of bullshit. If you're listening to it, I'll just read it out loud right now. VShojo has failed, and I've mismanaged the company into the situation you're all witnessing. So today I'm sharing the difficult news that VShojo is shutting down, and I take full responsibility for the decisions that led up to this point. I've been doing everything I can to fundraise and right the ship these past few months, but despite my efforts, we are in a worse position, and those I care about are now paying the price. Over the past few years, we raised about $11 million to pursue a bold, talent-first approach in VTubing, prioritizing creators and community over short-term profits to achieve long-term sustainability. Our funding went directly to our creators through generous splits, debut investments, infrastructure, concerts, events, and staffing, all designed to support them. We also want talent to own their own IP, which we knew was a unique creator-first approach for an agency. However, despite all of our efforts, the business failed to generate revenue we needed to sustain that model, and eventually we ran out of money. Additionally, I acknowledge that some of the money spent by the company was raised in connection with talent activity, which I later learned was intended for a charitable initiative. At the time, we were working hard to raise additional investment capital to cover our costs, and I firmly believe, based on the information available to us, to be able to do so and cover all expenses. We were unsuccessful in our fundraising efforts. I made a decision to pursue funding, and I own its consequences. I'm deeply sorry to all the talents, staff, friends, and community members who believed in our brand. You do not deserve this. Justin Gunrun. Justin, I forgot his last name. Of course, you had the very important community notes absolutely violating Gunrun. Keep in mind, he says he didn't know about the purpose of the charity funds, but the thing is, he congratulated Iron Mouse. He congratulated Iron Mouse on raising $500,000 for the immunodeficiency fund. I don't want to say IDF because some moron's gonna fucking look at that or probably clip that shit and claim that I'm supporting the IDF, which I don't. Okay. You got some angry replies. Here's Kason. Kason is point out the obvious. Why didn't you let us know the moment you realized this situation? Why did you get information 2 weeks ago, not from the company, from my homegirls? Why'd you lie to the JP branch a week ago that everything was good and taken care of? So Kason actually, that reminds me. So Kason quit on air. Kason went on stream, talked to the CEO of the Japanese branch, who, by the way, look, the Japanese CEO of VShojo, I'm not mad at him. He was put in a bad situation by Gunrun. He's not really at fault here. And even Kason knew that, which is why Kason wasn't too angry with him. Kason wasn't mad at him. She just explained what was going on with him and ended up telling him, yeah, I quit. On air, by the way. Then you got Iron Mouse saying, you broke my heart, my spirit, and my trust. You got Mimcubus, who is Jesse James Grell, a very good voice actor. That's her saying, how could we know the money was for charity? How could you not know the money was for charity? Was your CFO asleep? That's a good question, Jesse. That's a very good question, Jesse. Very good question, Jesse. Here's Rev. I got some issues with Rev due to his Trump stuff. I have some issues with that. Maybe I'll talk about him another time at some point, maybe. But look, on this issue, me and Rev are on the same page. Sorry, we selfishly got all of the funds made by our creators, including those they gave to charity, on the foolish assumption we would get further funding, which we probably would have taken as well. We're sorry. And of course, here's Pumpkin Potion, who is, that very famous, 30s style VTuber. This leadership has been a masterclass in complacency disguised as competence. I couldn't say it better myself, Pumpkin. Jacksepticeye, keeping charity money is some movie villain shit. Obviously, a bunch of really angry replies. Asmongold, everyone's fucking even Cheaton is commenting on this. Cheaton loves all the VTubers in VShojo, and they're all my best friends. I hope the sad issue gets resolved soon and everyone can smile again. Cheaton is in Japan, but I want to be a force for everyone to be happy. Zentreya, I don't know what to say. You're right. Oh, here we go. Yeah, I'm not going to read all that, but you get the idea. Zentreya is very pissed off. Zentreya is very, 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 very pissed off. Yeah. Oh, I forgot to mention, yeah, Amelie got screwed over in the past with Copium merch back in the day. So yeah, she's very pissed off because this happened to her before. She said, "This is exactly what Copium merch did to me, and you promised it wouldn't happen to me again. I'm beyond disappointed and frustrated. I don't even know what to feel anymore." And of course, we have this guy tagging the FBI. I mean, with Trump in office, I don't know. I don't know what they're going to be doing because with Trump in office, corporate greed is legal again. So, yeah. I thought I knew mismanagement with the Niji mines. I stand corrected, VShojo. I wasn't familiar with your game. Holy shit. Yeah, I wasn't familiar with your game, VShojo. Oh my god. They're getting fucking clowned on by everyone. Oh. Of course, here's former VShojo talent Silvervale, who left VShojo in 2023. Even though she left, she was also still very pissed off because she still has friends in VShojo, obviously. And it's just, like I said, it's really fucked up. So fucked up. There's a CU VTuber. Fuck. There's a CU VTuber, also known as Alejandro Saab, another great voice actor. Alejandro, it just says, "You didn't, brother, huh?" Yeah, that's, yeah, my God. Oh, my Jesus. Oh, this image looks pretty good. Yeah, and then that's accurate. I love the tiny Iron Mouse. Mouse is just so tiny. So cute. So yeah. Yeah, that's that. So yeah, VShojo's just fucked. VShojo's completely fucked. And yeah, fuck VShojo, fuck Gunrun, and support the now independent for the time being, for the independent talents, okay? Support them, please. So yeah, that's the first thing I want to talk about. Let's go to the next thing. Let's go to the next topic before I lose my fucking mind again. The next thing I want to talk about is Ukraine. So there's some stuff going on in Ukraine. So first I'll talk about the domestic stuff. So the domestic stuff. So Zelensky did something that I gotta criticize him for, which is trying to end the independence of the corruption watchdog that the Ukrainian government set up in 2014 after the Euromaidan revolution. So Zelensky's trying to end its independence. And look, I like Zelensky, but he really should not be doing this. And a lot of Ukrainians agree, because there have actually been protests against this within Ukraine for quite some time now. And it's good to see these protests, but at the same time, of course, the usual suspects are trying to misconstrue these protests as saying they're against the war, or they're trying to overthrow Zelensky, or saying that Ukraine is going to lose because of these protests. And look, I gotta say this shit. It's like, look. So Zelensky put out a statement saying that he respects the freedom of expression of the Ukrainian people, and he supports peaceful protests, and that he's not going to try to crush the protests that are against him, even if he may not agree with them. So that statement alone, in my opinion, is the difference between Ukraine and Russia, in my opinion. That statement alone shows that Ukraine is a democracy and Russia is not. Because if these protests occurred in Russia, well, most people protesting would be in jail right now. Some of them would probably be dead right now. I can tell you right now, these protests wouldn't happen in Russia, because they literally can't. They literally cannot happen in Russia. Ukrainians aren't afraid, because they know if they go out and march against this law, they're not gonna get shot or thrown into a Siberian prison or thrown out of a window or commit suicide by 2 gunshots to the back of the head. Whereas Russians, if they do that, they know that all those things could happen to them. So that is the difference between Ukraine and Russia. Ukraine is a democracy that respects freedom of expression, and Russia is not a democracy, and they'll put you in jail if you go against what Putin says. They respect freedom of expression. Yeah, you're free to express whatever the Russian government says is good to express. Yeah, and that's it. Yeah, exactly. That's my thoughts on the law. I think the law is bad. I think Ukraine's made some good strides against corruption, and if this law is passed and goes into effect, all those efforts against corruption are going to come to a screeching halt at the worst possible time. Because even though Ukraine's made strides against corruption, there's been some issues in the Ukrainian military with corruption. And that's the last thing Ukraine needs, because even with these protests, it still has to fight the Russian invasion. And the last thing Ukraine needs is this law to come in and to weaken its anti-corruption efforts, which will hurt its military and its civilian infrastructure and leave it more vulnerable to Russian aggression. And that's that's just a fact. So that's the protest angle. Meanwhile, over in Russia, Russia was supposed to do a naval parade, but they ended up scaling them back massively. It occurred today. I think it occurred today. So what happened was they were supposed to do a parade of warships in St. Petersburg, as well as in Kaliningrad and in Vladivostok. But the problem was they ended up canceling or scaling them back. So, according to the official response, it says that Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov told reporters that it's linked to the overall situation, security reasons, which are above all else, which is code words for the Ukrainian drones are harassing us too much. Ukraine's launched a shit ton of drones against Russia. And of course, the other issue is that what they're not talking about is the fact that Ukraine's navy has suffered. Russia's navy has suffered really hard losses against the Ukrainian navy and Ukrainian military in general. Which is ironic because Ukraine barely has a navy. I mean, they're rebuilding it very slowly, but you know, their navy is a fraction of what it once was before the Euromaidan, because the problem was Russia outright stole a good chunk of the navy, and then another good chunk of the navy defected to Russia as well in 2014. And on top of that, Russia also stole, you know, Sevastopol, which was home to a major Ukrainian navy base, as well as a major Russian navy base prior to then, because Ukraine and Russia used to have an agreement where Russia was allowed to keep a navy base within Sevastopol, even though it was in Ukraine. And of course, now that agreement is no more, it doesn't matter because Russia controls Crimea now, I guess, at this point. So, and of course, you know, Ukraine lost its access to its own Sevastopol naval base, plus naval bases in Mariupol. And so yeah, Ukraine's navy is a fraction of what it once was before the Euromaidan. But even then, it's still inflicting massive losses. I mean, after all, the Moskva got sunk. But I think like 1 or 2 years ago, I can't remember what it was, but the Moskva got sunk, which is a massive loss to the Russian Navy. So that's probably the other reason why they're not doing this, is because there probably just isn't enough warships anymore for Russia to safely guard its own waters and have these parades. Plus fear that Ukraine could attack these parades and sink more ships, which is the last thing Russia wants. So that's what the Russian naval situation is right now. And of course, going back to the corruption thing, it's starting to affect Ukraine's foreign policy, because the EU yesterday is starting to actually cut aid to Ukraine over these corruption concerns. Which I'm telling Zelensky, don't sign this law into power. The people don't want it. The EU doesn't want it. The US doesn't want it. I don't get it. I really don't get it. What the hell? I'm just gonna check something out real quick. Where is it? So yeah, I really do think I do think this this law that Zelensky's trying to pass is bad. It's nothing but bad news. It is nothing but bad news, and I think it would be the worst thing. Not the worst thing, but it'd be a very bad thing if they pass it for real. I really do think. Oh, there I am. I was just making sure this was on, because I just got an alert saying that I didn't have any microphone audio coming through. Okay, all right. There we go. All right. I'm able to hear myself now. Okay. Let's see if it repeats. There we go. All right. Oh. I'm able to hear myself now. Okay. That's got to be a bit of a mind fuck. Let's see if it repeats. Yeah. Oh, this is gonna sound so bad on my end. Oh my god. There we go. All right. I'm able to hear myself now. Okay. That's gotta be a bit of a mind fuck. All right. Let's stop that before we fucking break the mic or something. Anyway. Okay, so yeah, so let's go back. Let's go to Israel. Let's go to Israel for a bit now, and Gaza. So we just got some breaking news. You have good news and bad news. The good news is that Israel has paused some military activity in Gaza, and is going to allow an increased amount of food aid into Gaza, which is good. Which is good. The bad news is that 62 people got killed in Gaza, and got killed in Gaza. I think in an airstrike or something. Let's see what's actually going on here. Al Jazeera. Okay, I see what's going on here now. Okay, so it says here between 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. in local time, Israel did a tactical pause in operations in Al-Mawasi, Deir Ibala, and Gaza City. Despite these pauses, 63 Palestinians were killed in attacks on Gaza, and six more starved to death, which is bad. Which is just, that's bad. And now even Trump is starting to get a little impatient with Israel. Let's open up the Al Jazeera thing. Okay, listen, I know Al Jazeera is not perfect. But they have some good reporting now here and there. Okay, we're gonna look at multiple sources. Okay, this here. Trump says Israel has to make a decision on Gaza. So Trump says this while meeting with Ursula von der Leyen, who's the president of the European Commission. However, he continues to blame Hamas. And look, I get it. Hamas sucks. All right, we're not supporting Hamas here, but like, you can't just let Israel off the hook either. Israel's done some horrible stuff. Okay. Israel is not off the hook here at all. All right. I've never said that. Israel's not. And, we got some stuff from the WHO. It's some really, really horrible statistics in their tweet. Yeah, starvation is really increasing in Gaza, which is just horrible. And another news that reminds me, actually, so France is going to recognize Gaza. Recognize Palestine. You can see here, Emmanuel Macron says that France will recognize the independence of Palestine, which is a very bold move from them. This puts pressure on other European countries to also recognize Palestine. Let's take a look at the map. I want you to see a map. I want to get a map that shows both of them. This one might be a little outdated. This one's a little bit outdated. So the blue countries that only recognize Israel. And green countries that only recognize Palestine without Israel. Orange countries that used to recognize Israel but now only recognize Palestine. And then green and blue over here, this is countries that recognize both Israel and Palestine. Which is what I think is the best option here, obviously. Recognizing both is good in my opinion. And now France is going to be colored here. You notice a lot of Eastern European countries still recognize Palestine, and that's because of their association with the Warsaw Pact. Even after they joined NATO and the EU and whatnot, they still kept up recognition of Palestine because it was just something there. It wasn't any issue with not doing it. So notice Ukraine recognizes both. So I know all those people who say that supporting Ukraine means to support Israel. That's bullshit. All right. From Ukraine to Palestine, genocide is a crime. That's the position of this channel. That's the position of me, and not this channel, but me. From Ukraine to Palestine, genocide is a crime. Whether it's Russia committing it or Israel committing it, it does not matter. Let's look on this map and see if we can get more detail. One of the top comments said, "I don't know why I was kind of expecting a country like Bhutan or something to recognize neither of them," which is fair because Bhutan doesn't recognize either of them, honestly. Yeah. Yeah. Bhutan doesn't even recognizes neither China nor Taiwan, which is weird. Yeah, Bhutan looks at China and Taiwan and is like, yeah, I'm not gonna recognize either of you. So yeah, that's going on with Gaza and stuff right now. So a lot of shit's going on, and a lot of starvation's going on. The European Union is starting to put actual pressure on Israel right now. The U.S. is not. The U.S. isn't because of Trump and whatnot, and all those people back in November that said that like, nothing is gonna change whether Harris or Trump wins. It doesn't matter. Or hey Kamala, Gaza is speaking now, bitch. And it's just all those people are fucking morons. All right. I can tell you right now, just based on my own observation, I feel like Kamala Harris would be among the EU leaders putting pressure on Israel at this point. I feel like at this point she would have split off from Biden at this point and started putting pressure on Israel. It'd be a little late, obviously, but better late than never. I can tell you right now, Kamala Harris definitely would not be supporting the idea of Israel clearing Gaza out completely and resettling it with Israelis. I'll tell you that right now. She definitely would not support that at all. Not even Biden supported that. So all those people who say, Kamala Harris would have been exactly the same. Shut the fuck up, dude. No, she would not have been. You're fucking delusional. All right, and your bullshit is one of the reasons why Trump won. All right, why we're in the situation in the first place. So shut the fuck up, okay? That's all. It's aggravating. It's fucking aggravating. Yeah. So let's go next. So just South Park. So recently, South Park put out a new episode, and it's weird because it's not weird. It's good actually. So for context, obviously we know CBS canceled the Colbert show because they're trying to get on Trump's good side, which I talked about in Lock of Diamonds Talk on an earlier episode of Lock of Diamonds Talk, not Lock of Diamonds Corner, Lock of Diamonds Talk. I talked about it on, but so in response to that, South Park put out an episode where instead of having Mr. Garrison play Trump plays Trump, or Saddam Hussein. They basically turned Trump how they did Saddam Hussein back in the day. It's been pretty funny shit actually. They mercilessly mocked Trump. They mercilessly mocked Paramount and CBS. And what really gets me are all these conservatives and MAGA people. It's like, oh, South Park went woke. They're making fun of Trump now. It's just like, dude, shut up, okay? South Park makes fun of whatever's in vogue right now. And right now, anti-woke stuff is in vogue. So, of course, they're making fun of that. Alright? South Park was never on your side. It was never pro-MAGA or pro-Trump. There was going to come a time where they were going to make fun of Trump, especially these days. And of course, Trump is pissed off about it, because of course Trump is pissed off about it. It really feels like that South Park is essentially baiting Trump into screwing over Paramount and CBS because they're trying to buy a company called Skydance right now, and to merge with Skydance, they need approval from the FCC, which is controlled by Trump right now. Which is why they're trying to placate Trump by canceling the Stephen Colbert show, because Stephen Colbert criticizes Trump a lot. Not Stephen Colbert show. No, Late Night with Stephen Colbert. Not Late Night with Stephen Colbert, the show. Not Stephen Colbert show. So, yeah. So, that's all happening with South Park right now. Oh, this is funny. South Park creator jokes that he's terribly sorry over a premiere that drew White House anger. Oh, man. Of course, Trump is saying that the show hasn't been relevant. Taylor Rogers said that the South Park hasn't been relevant in 20 years, which is bullshit. South Park's always been relevant, especially relevant nowadays, given the episode that just came out. they're all just mad because now South Park is turning on them, and they and Trump's such a whiny piss baby that he can't fucking handle that shit. Like I said, it's funny seeing the backlash from the quote unquote fans who thought South Park, about Mastodon and Trey Parker were on their side with Trump when they never were. They never were. They never were. Like, how could you look at the stuff they did with Mr. Garrison and think that they were pro-Trump? Because they obviously were not. They weren't. I watched the episode, by the way. It's a good episode. You should give it a watch if you can. There's rips of it on Twitter, which is where I watched it. I'll have to admit, but if you can watch it officially, absolutely do that. Please support the official release for the South Park episode. And yeah, it's a good episode. Give it a watch. Definitely give it a watch. So anyway, next thing I want to talk about, Colbert and South Park and whatnot. So yeah, in non-political news, I entered a contest on Honeyfeed. Let me pull up the details for that real quick. So I entered a contest on Honeyfeed to write an isekai. And I'll put the PC shot on, actually, to show you what the contest actually is. As you can see here, grand prize, $5,000. I doubt I'm going to win that, but whatever. I'm in this to get some attention at this point, honestly. It's got to be an isekai fantasy story, and it's got to be brand new, which is what I'm doing right now. There's the AI policy. I'm not using AI at all. Just to give you guys a heads up. Let's go to the Honeyfeed website. Sorry, I'm not dying. Don't worry. So, this is the novel I'm writing for that contest. You notice it's not any other websites. It's not on like Wattpad, Scribble Hub, or Fiction Press, or Shosetsu. It's not it. Or Pixiv. And the reason for that is because the contest rule says that it cannot be on any other websites until the contest is over. So Derailed, which is the story I'm writing, has to stay on here. It has to stay on here. And here's the cover I made. Again, no AI was used at all. I made this entirely in Canva. Honestly, I thought I did a pretty decent job with just stock images from Canva, honestly. As you can see here. Alright. Yeah. The details. Imagine, for a moment, if you fell asleep watching one of your favorite anime series, and you wake up in said series. Now imagine if said series was infamous for having some of the most shocking twists of recent times. Well, one young man finds out what happens in unlikely scenario when he wakes up as a first-year background character in the popular action fantasy horror anime series Rymnon Castle School. When he realizes where he is, he becomes determined to change the course of the story. As he does, second-year student Lena Vale catches his eye, and two begin to grow close by his own ideas of who she should be with as a fan of the series. However, it seems that every time he solves a problem, something else in this anime's world goes wrong. With this in mind, he faces a crisis. Can he save the characters he loves without destroying everything else? Will he be forced to let some die to save the rest? So yeah, that's the general synopsis of the story. I got 2 chapters out so far. I got a third coming along. I'll be posting up at some point. But yeah, I'm enjoying writing this so far. Definitely a bit of change of pace for me. I usually don't write isekai or anything. I'm not a big isekai guy, but so far it's working out all right, I guess. Working out all right. Yeah, so that's that. Give it a read on Honeyfeed. It's right now it's only on Honeyfeed. If the contest is over, I'll put it up on the other sites I'm on. But yeah, give it a read. Give it a read. Very good. Very good. So yeah, there's that. And in other news, obviously, earlier this week, We lost Ozzy Osbourne, rest in peace. We lost Hulk Hogan as well. I mean, rest in peace, but like, I mean, listen. Hulk Hogan was a good wrestler, excellent inside the ring. Outside the ring, he was not. He wasn't really a good person, to be honest. I hate to say it. Like, but regardless of my opinions on Hulk Hogan, you know, no one's denying the impact he had, wrestling, obviously. He was everywhere in the 80s and 90s, even the 2000s, honestly. If you know what wrestling is, you know who Hulk Hogan was. And what really shocked me is his death was so sudden, which, listen, I got my opinions on the guy himself, but I still feel bad for his family. So, yeah. And then Ozzy Osbourne. Oh my god. Just 3 weeks after his farewell concert, too, in Birmingham. It was the day that me and my friend Nino were going to go see Ghost in Madison Square Garden, New York City. We just got on the train when I got the notification on my phone that Ozzy had died about 6 hours before the show started. And we were all talking about it on the way down there. We met a couple other people that are going to the same concert. We're talking about Ozzy's death and whatnot. At the show itself, Tobias Forga, the singer of Ghost, who plays Papa, Papa V Perpetua or Papa Emeritus in the past, he made mention of his passing, which is important because Tobias as Papa played at that show actually. He played at the farewell show, and he dedicated the entirety of that show, Madison Square Garden, which was sold out, 20,000 people. Dedicated that show to Ozzy. And he said a pretty good quote. It still sticks with me to this day. For the Prince of Darkness, he sure brought us a lot of light. And Ozzy sure did. I remember after he said that, the whole crowd broke out into Ozzy chants for like a minute straight. And me and my friend Nino were also... Nino, his name's Nino. We were all chanting Ozzy as well, because we're both big Ozzy fans too. And Black Sabbath fans and whatnot. So we were both pretty sad about it too. And... I mean, it's like, honestly, his death was kind of expected because, he had having a lot of health issues, and honestly, it's a miracle Ozzy didn't die sooner, given the shit he got up to in the past, but it's still sad because, his family and whatnot. And even though that was his last show, he actually said that he was looking forward to actually making more music in the studio afterwards. But like I said, that was never meant to be, I guess, so, yeah. Rest in peace, Ozzy. And of course, Chuck Mangione died. Chuck Mangione was a jazz musician, very well-known jazz musician back in the day. He's actually from upstate New York. He's actually from Rochester. And he passed away on the same day as Ozzy, actually. A couple hours later, I believe. And, a lot of people, my dad's generation and whatnot, would know who Chuck Mangione was. He's best known for the single Feels So Good from the 70s. It's, another sad loss. And of course, a bit earlier than that, Malcolm Jamal Warner, who played Theo Huxtable on The Cosby Show, and also a couple other roles in acting, he died. He died on July 20th from exactly a week ago after he drowned in Limon province in Costa Rica at the age of only 54. So it's been a rough week. It's been a pretty rough week. Yeah. Yeah, that's a lot of stuff going on. So yeah, all that happened. Let's go back to the contest page for a bit. Rest in peace, Ozzy. As Tobias said, for the Prince of Darkness, he sure brought us a lot of light. Yeah. Yeah, so judging criteria. It has to be within 50K to 80K words, obviously. You can't go beyond that, and it has to be all contained within one book. It's going to be a bit difficult for me, not going to lie. Definitely going to be a bit difficult for me. This is interesting. You can apply to be a judge, and you can apply to be a jury, to be a member of the public jury, actually, which is really interesting, actually. Only problem is since I'm a writer in the contest, I can't act as a judge or a jury for this contest. So these are the requirements to become a member of the judging committee or the public and jury vote. So if you want to become that, you can just take a look at this, pause this live stream or this VOD, and read this to get more information. Obviously, this doesn't apply to me because I'm a writer, so I can't yeah, so I can't really do this anyway. Can't be under 18 to participate in a contest. Can't make any edits after the submission window closes. All right. Yeah. So that's just the other stuff. I'm excited for this contest. So, I lost the JNC contest again this year, which sucks, but still haven't gotten feedback from them, but oh well. I've met some good people through this contest. So I don't regret it, even though I lost. I don't regret it. Meeting some good people in this contest as well, so we're gonna see what happens, I guess. We're just gonna see what happens. What should I do next? I wonder if I should play a game next. Yeah, let's do some RCT3, actually. We haven't done that in a while. Some Roller Coaster Tycoon 3. Yeah, turn that down real quick. Alright, it's updating Steam right now, but in the meantime, we'll just talk about some more stuff, I guess. So, later on this week, I'll be going to New York City for 3 days to see King Gizzard and Linkin Park. I'll be seeing King Gizzard on Friday and Saturday, and I'll be seeing Linkin Park on Sunday. It's gonna be interesting 3 days. I'm gonna have a shit ton of fun with my buddy Ethan. If you're a King Gizzard fan, you might know him as Nuclear Ethan, by the way. And I need to get more well versed in King Gizzard lore, obviously. I listen to a lot of their music, but I need to get more well versed in the fan lore. But if you're a big King Gizzard fan, you might know Ethan as Nuclear Ethan, and he's a cool dude. I've known him for a couple years now. Helped him out with some stuff here and there. I can't go into too much personal details, but yeah, he's a cool dude, and he's a good egg. I'll be hanging out with him for 3 days, possibly 4 days. I may leave on the evening of the 31st, possibly, instead of leaving on the morning of the 1st. It all depends on how things go, essentially. I'm really looking forward to it, being down there in the city for a bit. After that, I'll be going to Florida, watch my parents renew their 30-year vows, which will be very nice, very wholesome. And then I'll be going to New York City again later on in August for Anime NYC. That's going to be a fucking blast. And then my plan next is Anime New Jersey for a day, for just a single day, possibly. Either that or Saratoga Comic Con. I'm not sure if they're going to fall on the same day or not. Not sure yet. And then this pertains to some real life stuff in my area. This is within my area. So a fire department in my area is hosting an open house on October 18th of this year. They're looking for new members. If you live in the area, come. We're going to have a band. We're going to have a whole bunch of stuff going on. It's going to be in the town of Rotterdam, New York. It's going to be in the town of Rotterdam in New York, which is in Schenectady County. We're going to have an open house there on October 18th. So if you're in the area, give it a visit. It's gonna be a lot of fun. There's gonna be a local band playing there called Grand Central Station. There's gonna be events. They're gonna do a demonstration of their new heavy rescue they just bought. They're gonna be doing a push, and they're gonna push it into the station to commemorate it. They're gonna be doing a demonstration of vehicle rescue. They're gonna be doing a demonstration of the bailout kits they have for their interior firefighters. They're gonna be doing a demonstration of the mass confidence course as well. They're gonna be doing a dollhouse demonstration where basically they're gonna build this wooden dollhouse like built little mini house. It looks like a dollhouse. They're gonna light a fire in part of it. And what they're gonna do is they're gonna demonstrate the ventilation, essentially, the importance of keeping windows and doors closed to snuff out fires and prevent fires from spreading. Essentially, it's gonna be a lot of fun. Again, it's gonna be on October 18th in the town of Rotterdam, New York. So definitely give it a visit. Definitely give it a visit. It'll be a lot of fun. I got a lot to look forward to this year. Let's just log into Steam real quick. I forgot to log into Steam earlier. Anyway, so I'm trying to load up RCT 3 right now, but it's just taking a little bit. Let's go to the Steam app. Yep. Okay. That's good. That's good. Don't worry, guys. We are almost there. We are almost there. We are almost there. So, yep. So I got a lot of stuff going on. A lot to talk about, as I already did. You know, honestly, I thought, with Trump and whatnot, I was gonna be in more despair, given everything going on. But I say I'm not in as much despair as I thought it would be. Honestly, and that's surprising, really. Because, yes, shit's bad right now. Okay, shit's bad right now. It's not great. It's not good at all. But the thing is, there are signs of improvement. There are very much signs of improvement. We're starting to get some major victories in the local level, which is good. I've talked about for numerous years that we need to focus on the local level because the presidency and Congress isn't everything. We need wins on the local and state level because the Republicans took advantage of that. The fact that, I hate to say, Democrats kind of ignored that stuff for a while, and well, yeah. But we're trying to see some real ones like Mamdani, for example. And look, some Democrats have an issue with him, but look, he won our party's nomination. We need to support him. We need to support him, especially given what's going on right now. All right, look. I don't agree with him on everything. All right. But he brings the energy we need, that New York City needs to confront Trump, essentially. He brings the energy that they need. And the fact that Trump and his allies have called to deport Mamdani for some bullshit shows that they're scared of him. They are scared of him because of how popular he is. And we need to back him up in this time of need. Right now. In November. New York City Democrats need to go out there and vote for Mamdani. Not for Eric Adams, not for Andrew Cuomo, and certainly not for Curtis Stilwell, even though I have less of an issue with him than I do with most Republicans. But we need to vote for Mamdani because he's our party's nominee. And remember, it's vote blue no matter who, unless these people always said vote blue no matter who, unless it's a guy we don't like. Look, I'm a vote blue no matter who guy for the most part, with some minor exceptions. But there's no exceptions here. Vote blue no matter who, even if it's Mamdani. That's all I'm going to say. Because he brings the energy we need in local government right now. He brings the energy, essentially. And there's policies of his I do like. There's some policies I don't like, but there's some policies I do like. For example, he wants to construct 200,000 more affordable housing units, which is good. We need more housing in New York City. We can't afford to have all these fucking increases in rent anymore. If we have more housing, the rent will go down. That's just how it works. That's how it works. You build more housing, prices go down. And he understands that. He understands that. I also like his idea for universal pre-K, which is good. And another thing I like, so people accuse Mamdani of being an anti-Semite just because he criticizes Israel. But look, no anti-Semite I know would support the idea of defending Hasidic yeshivas from yeshivas, essentially. But yet Mamdani supports that. Mamdani is going to defend Hasidic yeshivas from accusations of failing to meet state educational standards. And he says he'll work with Hasidic leaders, and he will work to protect you from anyone who wants to disturb your way of life. So anyone who says that Mamdani is anti-Semitic can shove it, because he's not. He's not anti-Semitic. All right. That said, I don't really like his rent control stuff. I think his rent control stuff isn't great. I feel like the best thing would be to build more housing rather than do rent control. But I do like his idea of creating a social housing development agency that would build more affordable housing. So his plans to build 200,000 more publicly owned units and then renovate another 400,000. He also wants to upzone neighborhoods and increase density, which again was really, really good. They need to do that in New York City. They very much need to do that. And I will say that he supports the New York Health Act, which would create single-payer health care in New York State, which we need. I think it would be a good idea. It'd be a good idea. I don't get some of these. I don't get some of these public sector unions that oppose it, because like it would benefit everyone, including the members of the unions. I certainly would support, even though I'm in a public sector union. All right. I mean, sure, it does offer an incentive for recruiting workers, but who cares about the incentive? All right, there's so many uninsured people that need health care. That's the way I look at it in regards to that. It'd be good to have it. I think it would be a good experiment to do it. And even with the fact that Trump would probably try to destroy it, states' rights. It's state rights until there's something that they don't support. I guess. Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. Let's see here. Why is it not loading? I guess it almost wasn't loading. All right. Let's see if it works again. Ugh. All right, there we go. All right, much better. Starting to get up there now. Yeah, it'll take a little bit, but in the meantime we can keep talking about some shit. So, yeah, it's been almost an hour now since we began the live stream. It's probably been just about an hour now. So, yeah, that's good. That's good. Oh, and very specific local news: Riverdale Heights celebrated 100 years of service. So congratulations to Riverdale Heights Volunteer Fire Department Rescue Squad, Prince George's County, Maryland, Station 13. Congratulations. I forgot they're using an ambulance from Branchville right now. I think their ambulance shipped the bed, so yeah, they're using a loaner from Branchville right now, which is good. Good. It sucks that their ambulance shipped the bed, but you know, it's a pretty good turnout. Yep, congratulations to them for joining the 100-year club. Hooray! Oh my God, is this thing ever gonna? Oh well, I guess it's not going to. I don't know what the deal is. I don't understand what the deal is. Let's look at the task manager real quick. Huh. Apparently, I have 20 tabs of Google Chrome open, which is weird. Even though I don't, but like, I don't understand. I just don't understand. Hmm. It's a little frustrating. I'm sorry, guys, but yeah, you know. Okay, there we go. Finally, probably I have 43 Google Chrome things going on now, which is yeah, but no. Nothing for RCT3 though, apparently. All right, let's try this again and see what happens. See if this works, guys. Oh my God. I feel embarrassed, honestly. Will it respond? That's the question, I guess. I guess not. Oh, and we should probably let's get a little more serious, actually. Just got some news I gotta cover here real quick. So earlier this morning in Plainville, Connecticut, a firefighter got killed, unfortunately, in a house fire. The name has not been released yet. It'll be released shortly, shortly. But yeah. Let's see if we can pull it up on the PC shot, actually. Yeah, let's pull up on the PC shot.
responded to call it 45 Maria Road at 6:22 this morning for a structure fire. During that event, firefighting operations, a firefighter was injured. He was hospitalized at Central Connecticut, where he passed away. The house was destroyed, but all occupants had escaped and were uninjured. There are no other injuries that have been reported at this time. Both the fire and the firefighter's death are under investigation at this time. That's
any other questions or?
Take questions.
Just a couple. I mean, that's awful news. I mean, what has reaction been like up there? I know a lot of crews worked together today, and the loss of a life. I mean, that's never easy to deal with. What's that like?
Yeah, it's tragic, and this is a small, close-knit community, and this is a volunteer fire company that is very close, and this is devastating news for us and for this community.
And so, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no, and so we're just coming together. This is an ongoing investigation, both the fire and the death of the firefighter.
How does this change an investigation when, firefighters injured and passed?
Yeah, it becomes a lot more complex, and so I like to thank the task force for coming in, for bringing in the resources of the fire and the state police and their investigative resources that they have to lend to us, and this will be ongoing for a few days, I'm sure.
Right. How long do we expect this scene to remain out here?
I'll defer to the chiefs here, and they have command of the scene at this point. And
the scene is under investigation right now. The state police have taken charge of the investigation, both of the firefighter fatality and of the fire. So there's no word on when the scene may be opened up at this point. The investigation basically is in the early stages at this point.
I mean, you mentioned this is a very small town, obviously small, volunteer fire department. Speaking on behalf of the town, this is a huge loss. The community is going to be hit hard by this. I mean, anything you would say as the community really begins this grieving process?
Yeah, our hearts go out to the family, and our thoughts and prayers with the family at this time, and with the firefighting community. This is it's going to take a long time for the community to heal on something that it seems is involved in firefighter death and in the line duty death. And it's unfortunate, it's tragic, and it'll take time to heal.
I want to open it up. Anything you all want to say about the passing? While you're here, while we have you, if you. It's okay if you don't want to. I just want to leave the door open.
The only thing I'll say is this person's a volunteer. They volunteer their time to do a job which is not a safe job. They put their lives on the line. They do it for years and years and years. So whenever there's a death like that, it's a death of a hero. And I want to, my heart's going to the family.
Oh, you gotta be kidding. Hold on a sec. Don't tell me that.
For that sacrifice, for that loved one. And I want to thank all the agencies that came out, the state police, every police agency, every fire agency, every other first responder agency, is calling and wants to be here and wants to help out. So I want to thank them for that as well. It's a tight-knit community of first responders, and I want to thank that community. They're heroes. Thank you.
Absolutely. Anything else from you, gentlemen? I know you have a lot to do before we let you go. Anything we didn't think to ask you is important to get out there to the community right now?
Well, it'll take us time, and in terms of we want our thoughts and prayers with the family, and also for the firefighter personnel that were on the scene, and we're going to try to bring the resources necessary to help them through the grieving process.
Are you all releasing the name yet, or you're waiting
Not
for
at this
family
point.
to be notified? Okay. All right. Thank you, gentlemen. I appreciate it.
Okay,
Thank
thank
you.
you.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
So, I forgot to turn the audio on. I apologize, but so yeah, nothing's been released yet in regards to their identity. But it's tragic. It definitely is very tragic what happened to them. So rest in peace to this fireman who got killed in Plainville. Very much so. I wanted to bring it up earlier, but it escaped my mind, unfortunately. Got a whole bunch of other stuff to go over.
So if...
So, yeah. Yeah. Didn't mean to end it there on a depressing note, but, yeah, I guess so. In other news, I'm going to be working on emergency services disasters very soon, actually. Right after I finish this live stream up, I'll be working on a new episode of that finally after God knows how long. So look out for a new episode of that coming out very soon. And I'll see you guys in the next stream. Thank you guys very